My husband always wake up at midnight to wear red socks until one night. Every night, exactly at 12 a.m., my husband wakes up silently, slips out of bed, opens his drawer, and puts on a pair of red socks. The first time I saw it, I thought he was cold. I didn't take it seriously. I thought I knew everything about him, but there was one thing I never knew about: his nights. And we were barely 2 months into our marriage. Slowly, I began to notice something unusual. Every night, he would go to bed barefoot, but once it became midnight, he would sit at the edge of the bed, stare at his feet like he was preparing for something, then put on the red socks, and quietly walk out of the room. By morning, the socks were gone. I ignored it the first night. The second night, I thought maybe I imagined it. But the third night, I realized it wasn't a dream. It was a routine. And sometimes, I heard faint voices coming from the living room. One morning, I finally asked him, "Darling, do your feet get cold at night?" He froze for a second, then laughed a little too quickly. "Cold? No. With this hot weather, who wears socks at night?" "Why do you ask?" I said softly. "But some nights, I see you wearing red socks." His face changed. "Me? Red socks? Maybe you were dreaming." I wanted to believe him, but deep down, I knew I wasn't dreaming. That night, I made up my mind to stay awake and catch him. But no matter how hard I tried, I drifted off, and by morning, it was 6 a.m. Last night, I couldn't take it anymore. I did everything I could to stay awake, pretending to sleep like always. At exactly midnight, he woke up. He turned toward me to check if I was asleep. He even tapped me lightly. Then he sat at the edge of the bed, looked at his feet, opened the drawer, pulled out the red socks, and put them on. He stood up, looked back at me again, and quietly left the room. This time, I had followed my husband to see where he goes after wearing the red socks at midnight. I stood frozen, my hand hovering near the light switch. I wanted to turn it on, but the whisper I heard "don't" stopped me cold. My whole body trembled. I hurried back to the room and sat on the bed, shaking, trying to process everything. Then panic took over and I called out to my husband, this time by his name. "Mike." No answer. "Mike." The door opened. He stepped in slowly. "Honey, what is it? Why are you calling me like that?" he asked softly. I stared at him carefully. He looked normal. Calm. The way he stood there made me doubt myself for a moment. But I still asked. "Mike, I saw you wearing red socks, the same ones you denied having. Then you walked out. Where did you go? It's midnight. What's going on? You're scaring me." He smiled like I was being dramatic. "Oh honey, you're asking too many questions. I think you're overthinking. Look at me, am I wearing any socks? You should rest. Nothing is wrong. So, where did you go?" I pressed. He cleared his throat. I just went to get water from the dining room. That's all." I took a deep breath. I didn't want to argue. But deep down I knew something wasn't right. The next day at work, I told my friend everything. She said, "Search for the socks. Hide them, let's see what he does." It sounded reasonable. When I got home, I searched the drawer and finally found the socks. But instead of hiding them, another idea came. I wore them. That night, I slipped under the duvet and pretended to sleep. At exactly midnight, my husband woke up. He opened the drawer, the one where he always kept them, but found nothing. He searched. And searched. Then he turned toward me, hesitating, before tapping me awake. "Honey," he whispered nervously, I kept something in the drawer. Did you see it?" "What thing?" I asked. He started sweating. Red socks. I said nothing. I just lifted the duvet, revealing them on my feet. His eyes widened in shock. What? Why? This wasn't normal. He rushed out of the room like something terrible had just happened. I began to regret wearing those red socks instead of hiding them. My heart pounded as I pulled the socks off quickly and ran after him. But when I reached the sitting room, he wasn't there. Mike. I called out shakily. Mike. No answer. I moved to the window, pushed the curtain slightly, and looked outside. He was standing under the dim compound lights with our neighbor, Sam, his best man at our wedding. The way the two of them spoke, fast, tense, almost panicked, made my stomach twist. I leaned closer, listening. She wore it, Sam, my husband whispered. She actually wore the socks. Sam's eyes widened. What? How did she even see them? I don't know, my husband said, rubbing his head. She must have stumbled on it. I was careless. I never imagined she would touch them, talk more of wearing them. I'm in a mess. Sam sighed, shaking his head slowly. What do I do now? My husband whispered, voice trembling. I've broken the rule. I'm scared of what might happen to her, or to me. You've been in this longer than I have. Tell me, what's the way forward? There's no way forward, Sam whispered. You must bring her, and the socks tonight. If you fail, then prepare yourself. Something is coming. My heart dropped. Tears rushed to my eyes. I waited, holding my breath, just to hear his answer. My husband lowered his head. Then he shook it firmly. No. I won't do it.
No, I won't do it. I won't. I love her. I can't. Then be ready to lose everything.
I can't. Sam stepped closer. His tone hardened. Then be ready to lose everything.
Then be ready to lose everything.
Sam warned. Your connections. Your money. Your business. You may never even have a child. Everything you built will crumble. You'll go back to the streets you came from. Think, Mike, think
to
very
lose everything.
Well. Sam walked away without another word. My husband stood there alone for a long time before finally walking inside. He saw me standing by the window. He said nothing. Just sat down slowly, like someone carrying a heavy load. After a long silence, I whispered, I heard everything, so what now? My voice broke. Before he could answer, the lights in the house went off. I still didn't understand why the lights in the entire house went off so suddenly. But the way he looked around, tense, alert, almost terrified, told me he understood exactly what was happening. He took my hand immediately. Come, he whispered. His voice shook. He led me outside into the faint moonlight and leaned close to my ear. Take the car. Drive to my parents' house. Right now. Don't stop. A deep fear settled in my stomach. Mike, what's going on? Please talk to me. We don't have time, he said, his words trembling. You need to be safe. Just go. What about you? He went quiet for a moment, looking away as if he was gathering courage. Then he spoke slowly, voice low, heavy, and unsure. I'll be fine, but listen carefully. Don't tell anyone where you're going. Don't branch anywhere. Don't trust anyone tonight. Just drive straight there. My eyes filled with tears instantly. He suddenly glanced behind him, as if he sensed something. Go, he whispered urgently. Drive now. Please, just go. I got into the car, my hands trembling on the steering wheel. I didn't want to leave him. But the fear in his eyes told me leaving was the only way to help both of us. As I drove through town, tears streamed down my face. Nothing made sense. I kept asking myself, what could all this really mean? And deep down, I just hoped he was safe. Then I remembered my friend Nancy, who lived nearby. Maybe I could stay with her for the night, calm down, and continue my journey in the morning. I drove to her house and knocked softly. She opened the door immediately, concern on her face. What happened? Come inside. But when I stepped in, something caught my eye. Her feet. She was wearing the same red socks. A cold rush went through me. I need to go, I said quickly, stepping back. What? Why? You just got here. I remembered something. We'll talk later. I hurried out and drove away, my heart racing so fast I could barely think straight. Few minutes later, my phone rang. It was an unknown number. I didn't answer. I couldn't. Then I glanced at the rearview mirror, a car was behind me. Coming fast. Too fast. I pressed harder on the accelerator. By the time I reached my in-laws' house, the gate was locked. I honked. No answer. A cold wave moved through me. I called their numbers, switched off. I looked back into the mirror. The car was right behind me. My heart pounded so loudly I felt it in my throat. I didn't know what to do. I stayed inside the car that night, frozen, watching the vehicle that had been following me pull up behind me. Then the door opened. My heart jumped. It was Anita. My friend. Anita. I whispered to myself, confused. Why was she the one behind me? She walked toward my car slowly, as if unsure of what to say. Before she reached me, the gate to my in-laws' house opened. My mother-in-law stepped out with a serious look on her face. Relief rushed through me. I drove in immediately. My mother-in-law stopped Anita at the gate. I was only following her to make sure she's okay, Anita said quickly. She's fine now, my mother-in-law replied gently but firmly. Anita smiled nervously, waved, and left. I didn't say a word to her. I didn't know what to believe anymore. From that night, I kept my distance. I needed peace, not confusion. Days passed. 1 day. 2 days. 3 days. No call. No message. My husband's phone was switched off. My mother-in-law tried to stay strong, but I could see the worry in her eyes too. Then, on the 4th day, we heard footsteps, fast ones, running toward the house. It was him. My husband. He ran in, breathing hard, looking over his shoulder like someone who had lived through a nightmare. Mommy, he cried. Pray for me, please, pray for me. We rushed to him. I had never seen him so shaken. He knelt down in front of his mother. Mom. I made a terrible mistake, he said, voice shaking. A friend convinced me to join a group, he said it would help me succeed quickly. They gave me instructions, they gave me the red socks. I didn't follow everything they told me to do, and now I don't know what will happen. They said I should involve my wife to fix it, but I couldn't. I'm sorry. I should have listened to your advice. His mother's eyes filled with tears. She held his hands. I have prayed for you from the day you were born, she said softly. And I will not stop now. You belong to a good home. You will not be lost. She encouraged him to let go of everything connected to that path he followed. To cut ties, seek peace, and start again on the right foundation. My husband lost everything he had gained while he was in that group. Everything. But my mother-in-law's strength never wavered. She would sit with us every morning and encourage us. There is dignity in hard work. A peaceful home is better than anything gained in a hurry. What you build with patience will last longer than what you rush to get. Slowly, her words began to heal us. I learned so much from her in those days. Even without worth, she lived with joy, peace, and wisdom. It changed me. Together, we started a small bread baking business. It wasn't easy. We worked from morning to night. We saved every little profit. But step by step, month by month, things began to change. Years later, we grew into one of the biggest bread producers in our town. Our home was filled with peace, not fear. Love, not secrets. Joy, not confusion. And every time I looked back at everything we survived, one thing was clear. Sometimes life breaks you just to shape you into something stronger. The end. Follow for more interesting stories.